Hello and welcome back to another episode of Supercoach Insider. My name is Ben,
And I'm Swizz.
and thank you for joining us. This is the special tribute podcast. And as the great minds of Talladega Night says, if you ain't first, you're last. And that brings us to our special guest, JP, mate. How are you feeling? How are the nerves this week?
I was doing pretty well until teams came out, made me a bit edgy, but yeah, going pretty well. Thank you, boys. Thanks for having me.
No pressure.
It's our pleasure, mate. You know, we think we're going all right, but we're in some great company here. So, mate, congratulations to get this far so far, and hopefully, you can sleep easy come sort of Saturday night into Sunday, knowing that you might be enough ahead that where nothing can go wrong.
Friday night after a 20 from Max Gorn would be pretty handy.
Yeah.
Before we move on, take care of business real quickly. SC Insider 100. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Also, all the audio platforms as well. So Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, you name it. And on the YouTube, please search, subscribe on Supercoach Insider. Speaking of business, our special tributes as well. So splashvodka.com.au for obviously giving us these lovely, delicious treats. And manscaped.com. Go to manscaped.com for your 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Now, this is going to trigger me a little bit, boys, because I'm going to get reminded of all of the times I could have, should have brought all these people in that I really wanted to. I'm thinking Darcy Cameron. I'm thinking Sicily. I'm thinking Swizz is going to get triggered about bringing in Aaron Hall again for some stupid fucking reason for the omission today. Yes, I'm getting triggered. I'm going to look even more stupid than me wearing a Melbourne D's jumper. Didn't have time to change before the podcast. Brisbane Lions behind me. D's are playing Brisbane tomorrow night in my hometown at the Gabba, and I'm looking like an absolute twat. JP, mate, really keen to start off with talking about your starting squad, because I'm sitting there off the top of my head. I'm like, you must have had wits. Like, tell me through your starting squad and your starting strategy.
Got most of them pretty much right to start with. So I went on the Uber Primo. Just wanted to get sort of 10 players that I knew were going to kill it for the year. I had Witsy, I had Bruce, and I had Max Gorn to start with. So I traded Gorney after 2 rounds, which is a bit controversial, but we'll see how we go tomorrow, won't we?
Yep.
After 2 rounds.
Who was that for, mate?
I couldn't actually tell you who I brought in. Might have been a forward.
Bruce? Was that
No,
Bruce?
they already had.
I had
Bruce
Bruce
already.
already.
Bruce.
You had okay already.
Getting hundreds on the bench, so yeah. I put him in, and I think I brought a forward in.
Yeah, that would have made sense. And then you had Bruce's score on field as your R2 and use that cash elsewhere.
And I had
pretty similar
Jack
to what
Hayes
was it Chris and I did with Brody Grundy and flogged him off.
I went Brody Grundy, except I held on to him for too long.
You held on
and
to
Whitfield and all those flogs that I wish I flogged off.
I think set and forget's done, isn't it? With the rucks for a while.
It is. The Ryder's retirement next year might help things with Marshall, but sure. we'll get to that next season.
Did any of your mates give you shit with starting wits and like, oh, you must go set and forget? Because everyone that ever mentioned, you talk about, you could go wits and you could go English, and people are like, no. So, did you cop any flack from mates to start the season?
There's one bloke on Twitter, I won't name names, but he gave me a fairly hard time for going with Paddy Cripps. And
please.
The 2 rucks.
Is that tweet still there, though? Could you go back in time and
He knows.
Yeah.
Who knows?
He told him I was going to talk about it in the thing, but I haven't quite yet.
No, this is where you rag on mates.
Wait, no. You wait till you win. I want to see that Monday morning retweet.
Retweeted.
Actually, save it before he deletes it, because that's definitely going to happen.
I'm not going to tell you who he is, but he was in the top half a dozen last year, and he wasn't 1 to 5.
That's actually narrow it down. That's good. And then early on in the season, mate, so we've talked about the big move getting Gorn out, which was awesome. Is there anything else that comes into mind sort of in between that starting and the bye period that you might have pulled the trigger on that you think, probably maybe you're still in your side now, or any big moves there?
I went pretty luxury trade early. So Gorn, Crisp, and Caleb Daniel all out within 5 rounds, I think. I hit all the rookies, so I had room to move sideways a little bit and knew I could conserve till the end.
So does that when you move Sicily in fairly early before we jumped?
I think I got into Caleb Daniel in about round 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yep.
Paid about $150,000 less than I did, or at least maybe $200,000 less. Oh, triggered.
Did you jump on the Jake Bowie train or any of the mid prices, or you're all primo kind of rookie situation?
I got on Jake Bowie, and that was probably my worst trade of the year, to be honest. Didn't really get out of him what I thought we were going to get.
Yep.
How many weeks did you hold on? Because Bowie, I think I think I got the couple price rise, and then he flatlined a little bit, and I bailed out too.
In and out in two, so I didn't get hurt too badly.
Come buy period, how were you looking like kind of trades? Were you really aggressive, like used those boosts and stuff like that, or did you have something still in the tank, unlike us?
I think I was actually semi-aggressive before the trade period and was pretty right to go during the buys.
Yep.
Like I lined up at 19, 21, 19 before any trades or anything. So had a few go out and a few that you had to move around. But yeah, we got there pretty well. I don't generally look at the buys at the start of the year. I look at the buys at about round 6 and then work my trades through to there.
Yep. I like that.
No, I like that as well.
Well, that way it's not affecting the actual players that you want at the start of the year. And you're always going to shift a few around, or someone's going to do a knee or ankle or something.
Now, obviously, it's hard to kind of talk about regrets outside of Bowie and stuff because you're was it nearly 200? Was it 280 points ahead? Where are we at? 180. Okay, so it's hard to talk about regret because you pretty much nailed everything better than anyone this year. But do you have let's just focus on it outside of the scoring squad, right? Because obviously you're nailing all the scoring squad. Is there a rookie that's the bane of your existence that just sits on your pine each week? And you're like, I wish I didn't bring in that rookie.
I had Elijah Hollins for 17 weeks doing that. He's come home at the right time of the year. He was my floating donut to start the year. Would have liked him in about round 10, but that's okay. Morris Rioli's a bit of a whipping boy in the team. He's not going to get a spot in the 22 come final week of the year. So,
and Elijah Hollins has come back as well. Even if you had anarchy for weeks, you could have at least, probably helped quite a few teams, I think, in the back end of the year. So
I got the 116 out of him a couple of weeks ago in the field. So looped him for Ollie Wines.
Oh, nice. What did Ollie go that week?
Only 118. If I lose by 2.
Oh. I did the same thing. Not quite to that extent, but it was what was it? I think English got an 88, and I was playing more for leagues, but also overall. And I was like, and I was like, Heaney's very up and down.
Me
yeah.
Too.
Oh, you too? Okay. Because I'm like, well, how do you turn down? Because I'm like, if he goes, I was chatting to Abdul as well. I'm like, mate, if you went 92, would you take it? And I was like, well, yeah. And he goes, so you're going to split hairs over 4? Like Heaney could go 60 to 120 and just burnt.
Yeah, I wanted you to take English.
With him too.
Yeah. So I'm interested. Heaney this week's interesting. Saints have just absolutely towed him recently.
Yep.
So is that
I won't play him unless I have to.
Yeah, a little jack in the box if you need a little bit of something special.
You've got the loophole situation. Kind of when did you set your team up for that? And I guess it's been Heaney English, the forward ruck loophole situation there.
Yeah, I think I did it when I got rid of Darcy Cameron a while, 8 weeks ago or 6 weeks ago, or whatever it was. I always like to loop. I generally try and have one on each line if you can do it. So I've got Heaney, Brodie, or English in the loop, but I can also move it to the midfield to use Cripps and Wines if required.
Beautiful.
Jeez, that is so good. Sorry, I'm just in awe.
Yeah, you're
at this
just
current
in
point
awe.
in time. Yeah, I'm just.
You are top 100, Ben. I'll give you some credit, and you did knock me out of about 3 finals last week. You prick.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at this thinking clean up on all 5, No, definitely decent. And the whole Darcy Cameron thing, he's been very hit and miss as well. So you missed those low scores, which has probably helped accelerate that distance. The Ollie Wines one is very interesting because I'm thinking you must have got him around that 520K looking at value picks around that point. Was that?
Pretty sure I got him for 504, maybe week 7 or 8. He had a really good run home last year, won the Brownlow, so I was hoping he could kind of emulate that. I ended up, someone got injured and I changed to trade at the last minute, and I had 120 grand or something, so I brought him in. Just,
and then I think he went like 155 or something ridiculous like that pretty quickly.
Round 9 he went big. It's been very much up and down. Like he had a 66, whatever it was in round 19, but he's been banging out the last 3 weeks anyway, 125, 118, 140. Pretty much everything that Zach Merritt wishes he was last week. Ace wins.
Yeah, Winesy got the 150 in my second game. So,
there you go.
Pretty happy.
Yeah, that's what you want, isn't it? Trade someone in and they go bang.
Yeah,
that's always decent. So, all right.
How you been with your VC and captains? Because I'll give Ben some credit. He's been a bit of the guru on Twitter this year for his VC captains. Have you got most of them right, and or have you had a couple absolute blunders like myself?
I think I've had about 2 or 3 under 100 and maybe another couple under 115. But otherwise, I've come home really well. I thought I was in trouble at one stage with it.
Well, you didn't do a Swizz and obviously have Cripps as captain one week you got injured, did you, Swizz?
The 26th.
I think the only real mistake, I think I had two captains under 100. One was actually both were Neil. I think it was. One was a high 90, and the other one I was with. Yeah, and the other one I was with Swizz at the Gabba, and I should have taken the 120. Oh, what was it that week? The Clary one.
I think it was Oliver,
odd.
and you were trying to talk me into going Merritt, which I should have done, but oh well, we digress. And it's not just well. Before we get onto it for this week, it's not. I believe it's just not this year. I think you've had some good form in Supercoach before, mate.
I've done pretty well. I think I got down to 11th at one stage, maybe 8 years ago. I've had another one in the 40 odds, and last year I got down to 36. And then I did an Abdul and struggled with the trades a bit and sort of capitulated really badly.
Yeah,
about 4 injuries.
That's pretty impressive. Straight off there, because you get the odd ones, which it's you get the one hit wonders, but to actually have that sort of form over a few years, mate, you must be all over your Supercoach, which is awesome.
And I heard your biggest strategy of all is to not listen to podcasts like ours. Is that the go-to? Anyone looking to make a survival out there and to win Supercoach, don't listen to people that'll mess up your trades like us.
I listened to my first podcast today.
But that was for yourself, though. Isn't that a little self-serving?
I actually turned it off when it got to me. I didn't like that.
Yes. Who was that? Yeah. The Phantom?
The Phantom, yep.
Yeah, nice. And,
I'm a bit traditional. I watch my games. I generally try and watch most games throughout the week and watch players, watch a lot of underage footy, so I generally know when they get to the draft. And I read stats. I've got a few people in my corner that feed me nice information, but not really a podcast type of guy. Like I go back and forth with a few mates.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try it next year because I'll take your word for it.
Oh, as in, I'm big on stats for sure. And then I kind of listen to people that I probably trust as far as up and comers, like AFL Draft Expert on Twitter, watches a whole bunch of, Sample VFL, the rest of it as well.
Guys,
yeah. So, and those boys, I don't really watch too much before they become draftees, but I tend to watch a lot of games and then listen to a few of the elite few, like Swizz and a few others that pick up more like trends and analysis as far as their roles and their outputs and how people are using them. Chris,
as well.
Yeah, and Chris talks a lot of shit, but he sees the game better than I do, right? So Chris, who usually joins us, you might hear his voice one day. But he sees the game better than I do, and I watch it and I look at a few different things, but then he tells me what the teams are doing, and I'm like, holy shit, I didn't see that.
More strategical rather than
yeah. And then most of it comes down to just trying to make educated decisions on the pros and cons, and this is why we think this might be a good idea, and this is why this might not be a good idea.
Mate, you've taken like a duck in water in our league chat. For the viewers, listeners out there, we've had that the A team, which I think we've finished 3rd or 4th overall of the highest ranked leagues.
Fourth at the moment.
Yeah, JP's come and joined us in there as the most likely winner this year. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So, without trying to jinx it too much. So, but mate, you've already been a good contributor to our group chat with all the other gurus of the Supercoach world.
Yep, enjoying it, boys.
Poor Emily. She doesn't even get a full 12 months of clean air. He comes in with like a round and a half to go. And it's pretty much like, hey, Rose, you like that 2021 model? I've got the I've got the 2022 model even before it's released. Like, how do you like them apples? So shout out to Em, a really good sports. It's just a really good chat group in general. You take Nathan aside and the rest of them are a pretty good bunch of people. So
who do you support in the footy too, mate?
I'm Carlton as well.
Yeah.
So you must be excited that Hewitt's back. Not excited, obviously, because that's 50 grand that might give someone a shake. But yeah.
Now we come into the last round, and it's one trade left, mate.
What did you say? Sorry, I missed it.
It said last round, one trade left.
Yep.
And I guess the goal is to hang on to that as long as possible through the week, or are you going to try to nullify what Hindsight is doing?
There's only one trade I can do, and I don't really like it, which is
that bringing inside? bring in Sard, right? You bring in Sard as a big FU to Hind Sard. Hind over Sard as a Carlton man. You're like, no. I've got 190 points ahead of you, man. I'm bringing Sard in this week.
If
I'll
I'm
be
done
damned.
on Sunday, he's definitely coming in. I mentioned that earlier. Be the perfect one. I hope he brings in Hind. We can match it.
That'd be good.
But that's not matching it. Sard will absolutely dominate Hind.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm game enough to ask you your VC&C this week, because I think with the money on the line, I wouldn't be giving away a single idea if it was me.
I'm looking at Morris Rioli, VC. Maybe Jacob Ware if he gets up on Saturday.
Holland's into Rioli, or the other way around. All right, that sounds good. Because I mean,
for our viewers and listeners out there, and that there's the three obvious ones. It's your VC. You're looking at Oliver or Took, and then for those who have Laird, I think Laird's the obvious captain. Hopefully, he bounces back from last week. I really don't want to leave it too much to the Sunday, but you can't not ignore Bont with the Bulldogs trying to need to win to make finals. So I think
worried about his injury.
Yeah.
I think Clary got 140 against the Lions last time, but it wasn't at the Gabba. I still think he just towels us up. I'm hoping not so. It's either VC of him into Took, but then chances are Clary will go 128, and I'll probably feel like I have to take it. Whereas Took, I might get a free run there, and I actually think a bit of a jack outside the box, probably ruined by Williams and Hewitt probably coming back in. But Collingwood leaked so many points, so if I need a jack in the box for my league win against Nath, I might just hope that Clary will burn him hard and towel up the Collingwood midfield if I need a jack in the box after. But I don't think I need to go past Took, to be honest, because North Melbourne, he works harder than anyone there. I think it's going to be turned over coming through the midfield. Aaron Hall's not even playing, got dropped, so it's going to turn over. 100%.
He might be done, I think.
Aaron Hall?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Got it getting dropped. New coach.
New coach coming in.
Yep, got to play the kids. So very interested. Now, let's have a look at next year. So we spoke a little bit. Is there any kind of players that you're looking at? Are you big on the hype train of in the group chat before? I think you got there. You could probably have a scroll back. Some people are like, I'm starting LDU. I'm starting Warner. I'm like, mate, how many of these people actually break out for real? Are you big on any of these people for starting squads next year, or
I really quite like Lockie Young, Chad Warner, and LDU. That I'd probably say LDU might be the only one that's quite ready.
Yeah, and it's his midfield too now as well. Him and Simpkin. Even Cunners came back in, and bless Cunners coming.
Played a second fiddle.
Yeah, but he said it's their midfield now. So old dogs like it's their bull. They're pit bulls. They got to get in, do the hard work, and I'll just play my role. So. And what about the ruck line? I think the ruck line's the most contentious. You think Settenfer gets done? Cooked?
Pretty much. If Gorney's on his own next year with Jacko gone and the ruck doesn't come in, happily look at him.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Witts has been really good except for a 3 or 4 week period. I don't think I'll go Sean Darcy again.
I know. Especially if Jackson goes out there.
Always a lock.
No. Yeah, and Marshall, I agree, is not always a lock. And even then,
his ride is gone. I think he is. But
yeah.
I think he'll probably be based on a price point. I think it's his to lose, and I think you could do a lot worse than starting someone like that, knowing that it's their role, and underpriced. And I think that was probably my starting strategy this year, was just to look at value. So I looked at Hewitt was value, Brody, and looking at where can I get some money out of. So Cripps at that time was value based on output, and I'm trying to spread your money well as far as points.
Cogs.
Yeah, Cogs, yeah, for sure. And Doherty and the rest of them. So very, very interesting. Swizz, what do you got for thoughts here, mate?
No, we ask all our guests if there's anything you could change in Supercoach or add to Supercoach. Do you have any thoughts around that?
There's been a couple of things going around lately. I think one would be where you're looping players around, and you can't do it with sometimes. Just a little black hole for that extra player to go in at times. I know M suggested that the other day. I also liked like a COVID free hit player. So instead of maybe sucking it up, and you get a player to the same value for that week only. I know it's out of what we normally do, but people get hurt by COVID, and it's a bit unfair, I find, at times. It's life.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
I could live with it.
Yeah. I could live going down to like 30 trades and having that option.
Yep.
And that just the COVID sub.
Your players ruled out for a COVID thing for your 12 whatever days it is now. You just get a free hit. Player goes blue or something, and you push the button, can pick without.
Yeah, I quite like that idea because that's like that. What is it? The Premier League football or whatever you guys are getting me to try and. Yeah, that's why it sounded familiar because I'm looking. Do you play that as well?
Yeah.
Okay. These boys probably haven't told you, but I got really lucky. I accidentally had the captain on Jesus on Jesus.
Lovely.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. I thought I had Solar as captain, and next minute I've got 38 points from my captain and beat Chris and Swizz, and they're absolutely livid. I got no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
There you go. What's your team for that then? Because Swizz will be fanboying for sure.
Same team. I'm about 455,000 positions behind Supercoach ranking. So I don't like it.
Yeah, it feels weird saying, I'm 1.6 million, and that's actually not bad.
I've never had a really good crack at it, so I'm trying to now.
Oh, well, you got plenty of free time. Now, how are you planning on spending your Sunday night, Monday? You're taking a day off to kind of bask in your glory, or is it straight back to work as per usual?
I've got an RDO on Monday, which is handy. I've got to win first, see how we go.
Well, either way, you'll have that day to celebrate or to be in mourning. So,
yep. Hopefully, I can know by Saturday or Friday night instead of stressing all day Sunday about it.
So, what are your key matchups then? Let's have a look. So, was it only 3 players of difference? Yeah.
Yep. Darcy, me, Wines, and Mills, and he has Gorn, Brayshaw, and Zeret.
Is that Freo's Brayshaw or we?
Yeah, Freo Brayshaw.
Freo's Brayshaw. Okay, so you have a good idea of how Gorney goes.
Yep, Friday night.
And obviously the VCC. So that's what I was saying before. Is that it's probably with that trade, you kind of look at how you're going. Maybe Saturday, and is it try to match one of those players.
I need to.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Swans play last as well, so really it's probably more. I guess even Ollie Wines that Saturday night, you could almost try and negate same time Zach Merritt, or realistically, you could almost try and use one trade to kind of go, okay, well, if there's 3 players of difference and you need to match this many points, then it's really hard to try and make up that many points with only 2 players difference.
I can do Mills. I can do Mills to Brayshaw. It's the only one I can fit in.
Yeah,
but surely Mills towers up Saints more than Brayshaw. Who's Brayshaw even playing this week?
GWS,
Giants.
mate.
GWS. Lockie Ash surely has to kind of.
Well, it could be, but as he said, mate, it's that whole just nullifying that. It's like you're not catching up that many points if you've got
only
that
2
many
players difference.
If Abdul wasn't as far back, he would have been more of a danger because he's got about 7 or 8 pods.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it's going to be very interesting. So, I mean, I guess I can see sort of 2 ways, but the only issue is that you would hate for a late out, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, now I'm playing a rookie. So, I guess that's where the Mills
Sunday if I can.
Yep.
Yeah, well, we'll be rooting for you, mate, and definitely, I'm sure we'll be listening to you in that chat room and riding the highs and lows with you. What do you do to try and relax? Yeah, like a pork chop carrying on. What do you do to try and relax? You just try and chat, keep busy, block it out?
I'll probably go down to the local footy on Saturday, to be honest, and just watch that and check scores on my phone every 4.5 minutes.
Who do you support in the local footy there, mate?
We just go down to Langwarrin. It's about 100 metres away. Not actually sure whether they're playing yet.
Are you going to get a custom-made shirt when you walk down that says, I'm kind of a big deal?
No. I want a tracksuit, really, but I've heard it might not be coming, so I'll be wearing the tracksuit.
Oh, so as in people might not get a tracksuit this year? Is that what you're saying?
Possible. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because it looked last year, and they're talking about the KFC herbs and spices and blah, blah, blah. And I don't even know if Top 100 get a prize or not.
Mate, we get a chicken drumstick, Top 1,000.
That was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it'll be the same this year, mate.
I don't know. In tracksuits, would you wear the tracksuit with pride? Do a meet and greet?
Yeah, could be a bit of fun.
Yeah,
I think Em met Heater Shaw, so maybe they can go get the other Shaw brother.
Are you a football or cricketer, mate? Or
I play cricket still. I coach kids cricket. I used to play footy. I broke my ankle in my last game the week my boy was born 12 years ago.
Well, it's something to remember the birth of your son there, mate.
I enjoyed the green whistle in the delivery room, trust me.
Jeez. So at least every time you sort of go, it'll be the summer of that day, and I know exactly what day I did my ankle because my child was born, and it's like every time my career ended, and it was basically because of you.
Yep.
Same date, same time. Right. Very, very interesting.
Yeah,
so
you a batter or bowler there, mate?
A bit of neither.
Yes, love it.
I actually ruptured my bicep fielding in one of the last games last year.
How do you rupture a bicep fielding?
Yeah, don't ask. You couldn't pick it if you tried.
I love it, mate.
Very, very interesting. Any final thoughts, JP or Swizz?
No, mate, for me, it's just all the best, mate. Like, obviously we're close mates, especially myself with Abdul, but we feel like, mate, we've got to know you over the last couple of weeks really well. So we're rooting for you. And in a perfect world, no offense there to Hindsight, but we're hoping it's a JP 1, Abdul 2, and we'll be wrapped.
Yeah, we don't know the other one, so
yeah.
We could talk shit as much as we like, to be fair. So I was going to say, Swizz must feel a little bit naughty here, cheating on his mate. Bloody poor Abdul was first or second
Abdul
when we had him on.
understands.
First down to third, and poor Abdul. I said, well, I told Abdul if he gets back to second, we'll have him on again.
He's a lovely fella.
He is. And I like the community a lot. So you're on Twitter. Yeah, I think you are. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think that pretty much wraps us up.
Shout out your handle there, mate. What's your Twitter handle?
A Seinfeld special for JP.
Yep.
Good old Seinfeld. Love Seinfeld.
Yep.
Now, thanks for coming on, mate. We appreciate it. And, all the best, mate.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Easy. We'll catch you in the chat room. Say, JP. I'll talk to you soon, mate.
Cheers, boys.
Thanks, boy.